Produced by Podcast Architects. Welcome back to the show. I'm Ben Wiggins, hosting for us this episode, and I'm joined by Brailey Faris from RTI Innovations. Brailey, how's it going?
Good. I'm excited to be at this event.
Yes. Tell us what you've noticed so far. What are you seeing? What's different here?
I feel like the participants are very engaged. They've been, I noticed when they were looking at the technology posters, they were really trying to dive in and understand some of the deeper technical aspects of the things, which I was very interested by. It's very encouraging. I'm very excited to see the types of business concepts that they're able to come up with based off of those, because, my background isn't in this type of engineering. And so I look at the posters and I just can't comprehend someone being able to come up with some alternative business use case for them. So it's very exciting to see people trying to kind of delve into those details to be able to build a better business around it.
Fantastic. Tell us about the work that you do.
So I do help NASA run workshops like these. So I ran one last year in Tampa with the Kennedy Space Center. Very similar type of concept. They were looking at NASA patented technologies, trying to come up with an alternative business use case for them. But that was more focused around the UN sustainability goals. So really focused on, again, sustainability, improving the human condition. So a little bit of a twist from this event itself, where we're focused more on just emerging technology areas of need. So I do workshop facilitation events. I also work with small med tech companies, helping them try to commercialize their technologies, get them from the lab into the market, figure out next steps to take, gaps that they might have in their current business models. So I spend a lot of time in kind of the business model, early end innovation, commercialization space.
How do you feel that landscape has changed over the last year, 2 years, 3 years? What's different, really, maybe post-COVID and post kind of coming back to work?
I'd say that it's been very difficult but companies are having a harder time getting out and actually engaging with their end users when they're starting to develop technologies. So that's a big focus of our work, is making sure that these early stage innovators are actually getting out and engaging with the stakeholders that are not only going to be using their technologies, but in the whole ecosystem of purchasing, influencing, other factors. So really just encouraging, small stage companies to be able to go out, verify their value propositions, understand the customer's needs and challenges. Is something that's coming back, but I think that it was hard to do during COVID because there was no face-to-face interaction.
Right.
So, Zoom calls only go so far, and, surveys don't get the nuances of the conversation. So, I've seen a lot of kind of small companies that I work with do a lot of survey work, but again, it's not the same as having, a face-to-face conversation, really diving into some of the other details, or even reading facial expressions from, a conversation when you're trying to answer a question.
Classic lean entrepreneurship
Yes.
stuff. Get out of the building.
Yeah,
that kind of
absolutely.
thing. Okay. What are you most impressed with in terms of how the Canon is handling the changing landscape and this event, and what do you think are the biggest wins to come? You talked a little bit about engagement earlier, but what else are you noticing?
Well, this space is fantastic. First of all, I think it's awesome that they have, I think that they said over 300 companies in this building, and I think that that's really cool because it's, a combination of very small early stage companies that are just starting out to, I saw Chevron downstairs, there's some really big players in this space. And I think it's awesome that everybody's able to, share the same space, be able to go out, talk to each other. I know John mentioned earlier, if you see somebody in their office, feel free to knock on their door and have a conversation with them. Everybody expects that. And I think that's just a really unique thing about this space. I work in an office setting where it's, cubicles, and I feel like the landscape post-COVID is changing towards more collaborative settings. And I think this is exactly, what the landscape is becoming.
Any other observations? Anything else you were noticing about the sessions, or what stood out to you about the other discussion from today?
Post sessions, post conversations in front of the whole group. I've noticed a lot of individual sidebar conversations going on with the NASA folks. I noticed there was some engagement around potentially licensing the technologies, which is really encouraging. That's obviously a metric of success for, NASA, but also, potentially the Canon to be able to bring in a small company that has just, licensed out a NASA technology. Um, so some small bar conversations with, some higher level NASA folks has been really encouraging to see. The engagement in the sessions has been absolutely fantastic, especially with the one system that John just shared with everybody. I think there was definitely a lot of questions around that, and it is a really unique kind of tool to see people, engaging with that and being excited about how they could potentially use it for their own application. And this afternoon is really exciting, and also shows the power that a small business can have if they, come up with this kind of, crazy idea that maybe at the beginning just seems like is blue sky, but to be able to put it into reality and then people see the use of it is, I think, encouraging not only for that business but for these participants of the event as well, to see the potential of what they could make out of something with a NASA technology. So,
Well, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate you joining us, and thanks for being a part of the event today.
yeah, thanks for having me.
All right.